Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am so happy you're here. We're gonna pick my October TBR today. I'm gonna use my prompt chart again, but I'm really running low on prompts. I'm thinking about switching up the TBR videos starting next month. I did this I think a year ago where I did a monthly reset, and I'm thinking about starting that again where I do my monthly TBR in that video, where I set goals, make a vision board, and all of that stuff. I think that could be fun. Let me know if you would be interested in watching that. And if I do that, I definitely have to create some more prompts to put in my jar to not run out of them. But we definitely have enough prompts left for this month. I'm gonna be totally honest, I didn't finish last month's TBR. I had some books on there that I was really intimidated to read, and I still haven't gotten myself to start them. So maybe we're just gonna move them to my October TBR or put them back on my TBR card. I'm not sure yet. I'm not gonna pick too many prompts today because I have some videos in mind that I want to film in October, and I have some fall and witchy books for that, and those are the books I want to focus on. But we're still gonna pick some prompts as well. I think I'm gonna pick 5. I have been reading a lot this year. I'm one book away from reaching my Goodreads goal, which was 150 books. So I'm optimistic that I'm gonna keep reading a lot the next few months. So let's pick our first prompt. Our first prompt is scroll through a book feed and read the first book you see. So I'm either gonna do that on Goodreads, or I guess I could also do any social media platform. I'm just gonna see what I'm in the mood for. As always, I'm gonna draw my prompts first and then look for books that match the prompts. So let's pick our second one. A dystopian novel. The third prompt is a book that's hyped online. The fourth prompt is a book written by 2 or more authors. And then last but not least, more than one person on the cover. I'm gonna check my TBR and get back to you once I have picked out all of my books. I have picked out most of the books I want to read, but the first prompt was scroll through a book feed and read the first book you see. I wasn't really sure what platform to do this on. I thought about doing Pinterest, but I just saw that I have no books whatsoever on my Pinterest feed, and also not really any on Instagram, so I think I'm gonna do TikTok. I also don't have a lot of book content on TikTok, but I think that's where we're most likely gonna see some books. I could also do Goodreads, but that's kind of boring. I'm just gonna record my screen. We're gonna scroll through my For You page and then hopefully find a book to read. The first video is a book video, so that's a great start. Oh my god, I actually have that on my list of books to buy. I saw this while I was book shopping a few weeks ago, so that's actually perfect. I'm gonna do the first book she showed, which is Cat Dragon by Samantha Birch. It's a cozy romantasy, kind of like cottagecore inspired, and it has some cute companion animals, and it's a best friend's brother romance. So all of that sounds amazing, and the cover is also very cute. This follows Eloisa, I think. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but she's a witch and has a cat dragon, but she's struggling to bond with her, and she apparently also has a magical farm, which sounds so cool. She has to prepare for the annual harvest festival. In order to do that, she has to figure out how to bring her pumpkin patch back to life, and apparently there's also a quest involved. It just sounds perfect. I'm definitely gonna get this book and read it this month. It just sounds like the perfect book to read in fall. I am so excited. For the second prompt, which was a dystopian novel, I'm not sure if this is cheating because I did already start this book, but only 2 days ago, and I'm not even 100 pages into this, so I'm probably not gonna finish it this month, but in October. So it's still on my October TBR, kind of. But I'm gonna read Restore Me by Tahara Mafi. This is the 4th book in the Shatter Me series, and it's been a while since I read the last book in the series, so I wanted to pick it back up because I've been enjoying it a lot. Since this is the 4th book in a series, I'm not going to tell you what this book is about, but I'm going to tell you what the series is about if you don't know. The series is set in a dystopian world that is controlled by the re-establishment. That's kind of the government in this world. They promise the people a better world, and in order to do that, they apparently have to control everything. There's a lot of violence and fear among the people, and in general, this world is pretty much collapsing. There's a lot of pollution. Plants and animals are dying. There's not enough food for everyone. So humanity is really struggling to survive. And we follow Juliet, who kind of has a strange power. She can't touch anybody. If she touches somebody, they will be killed or at least get hurt very badly. So the series starts off by her being imprisoned because of that power, but she slowly starts to live with that and strengthen herself and figure things out. There's also a romance and a love triangle, and it's kind of about her and all of the other characters forming a rebellion to try to fight against the re-establishment. There are so many people in this world I'm so obsessed with, especially Kenji. Despite it being a dystopian and very dark novel, it still makes me very happy because I'm so attached to the characters. For the prompt, a book that's hyped online, I'm gonna read The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. I've seen this all over social media lately, and people have been saying that this is a mix between the Selection series and the Cruel Prince series, and I've read both of those years ago, but I was so obsessed with them, especially the Selection series, so I had to pick this up. This is set in Victorian London, where the immortal Fae Queen has ruled for centuries, and every citizen in this world is allowed one bargain with the Fae Queen. And the Queen announces a competition to find someone to marry her son. So this follows Ivy entering that competition along with 6 other women, but apparently the women that lose that competition are not allowed to ever get married. So it really does sound a lot like the Selection series, which I'm so excited about. And for a fantasy book, this one is pretty short. For the prompt, a book written by 2 or more authors. I'm gonna finally read a book that has been on my TBR for so long. I'm gonna read Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I think they're sisters. The Addicted series has been so hyped for years, and I still haven't started reading it. This follows Lily and Lo. Lily is addicted to sex and Lo is an alcoholic, and they have been best friends for years and are currently pretending to date in order to hide their addictions from their families. And over time, the friendship and fake dating is turning into something more. I'm assuming that this is gonna be very messy and toxic. Just the premise of this kind of reminds me of Magnolia Parks. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I guess we're gonna see. And then for the last prompt, which was more than one person on the cover, I'm gonna read People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. This was just released, and I've been obsessed with Hannah Bonham Young's books lately, and it's also a fall book. I am so completely obsessed with the cover. It's perfection. This follows Prudence, who lives in a small town and is a very introverted person. She works at her dad's gas station, writes a lot of poetry, and cares for her mother, who has early onset Alzheimer's. So she has a very strict routine and a lot of responsibilities, and she's afraid that she's slowly losing herself because of all of that. And then Milo shows up in her small town. He's this very free-spirited and adventurous guy, but after meeting him, Prudence kind of suggests a casual physical relationship, or that he gives her some lessons so that she can explore that intimacy on her own terms. So they start spending time with each other, and it follows them being confronted by their past, by their families, also what they really want in life. And I love how this appears to follow Prudence stepping out of her comfort zone. I'm just so in awe of Hannah Bonham Young's writing style. She discusses such emotional, raw, and at some points dark topics, while also putting all of that into a heartwarming love story. I don't know how she does that, but I've loved all of the books, especially since this is very fall coded, at least assuming from the cover. I am super excited to get into this. I'm realizing that I'm very optimistic with this month's TBR. I'm not sure if I will be able to read all of these books, but I do have a week off work this month, so maybe I'm gonna do another 24-hour readathon. But let's go through the rest of the books I want to read. I'm planning on filming 2 themed reading vlogs this month. I want to film a reading witchy books for a week and also reading fall books for a week videos. So these are the books for those videos. For the witchy books video, I want to read The Very Secret Society of Witches. I also want to read Rewitched. And finally, I want to read A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. This is the 3rd part in a series, and I love the vibes of the first 2 books, so this also had to go onto my TBR. And then for my reading fall books video, I want to read Falling Like Leaves by Misty Wilson, and also A Cinnamon Falls Mystery by R.L. Kilmore. So I do have a very ambitious TBR for October, but I'm excited for every single one of those books. So hopefully we're gonna have a fun time reading all of them in the next few weeks. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!